the issue of the company that champions women is now being sued by a lot of women for not paying women. And of course...
Yeah, it's almost like they're not fucking woke, Gary. It's almost like they care more about money than anything else. Fucking hell, Gary. Pay attention. Hey guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Thank you. Anyways, we are going to go ahead and dive into some Chud content creators, because, you know, that's what I do. What I do. I look at the Chuds. They do Chud stuff. Top 5 woke Hollywood disasters of 2023. Woke! Just like those comic books I just looked at. So woke.
Nerdrotic.com.
Red.
After an abysmal 2022 for Tinseltown, we didn't think things could possibly get any worse. Then 2023 came along and said, hold my Bud Light. Race-swapping historical figures, multiple...
Number 1, nobody. Nobody! Does anybody know anybody? God, this quality is shit. Does anybody know anyone who actually watched that Cleopatra movie that Netflix did, the docudrama? I don't think anybody watched it. I don't think anybody cared. And then, like, the other examples, his 2 examples are fucking that Cleopatra movie and the Isaac Newton from the joke at the beginning of one episode. Literally a fucking joke. In Doctor Who, a series known for its historical accuracy, right, guys? Yeah, okay, we're 15 seconds into this.
Multiple historic flops, and putting a chick in it and making her gay and lame.
Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay!
There is so much to choose from, it made it difficult to get this list down to a...
God, they're gonna mention Director X. Director X called out these guys. It was actually fairly based. I haven't heard particularly great things about that Robin Hood series he did, but, like, it was pretty based. He was calling them out. But anyways, yeah. So, like, I bet you Gary's not gonna talk about the strikes in a positive manner. Let's see. Maybe he will surprise me and be like, you know what? The Hollywood strikes were needed. These people are getting underpaid, and that's part of why stuff was suffering. And I will stress, like, I would say this year has overall been underwhelming. It hasn't been, like, nuclear bad until, like, the end. Like, Aquaman 2 was fairly bad, and Rebel Moon was a fucking shit show. But, like, I would almost say my issue of 2023 is I feel like lots of stuff was played entirely too safe. It's like we're getting tons of the safest shit you'll ever see, and I feel like that's part of why it didn't really, a lot of the stuff didn't really resonate like it did, because it's really safe filmmaking. But I'm sure Gary will like to dive into the nuance. Let's see.
A reasonable number, but not to worry, Nerdrotic is back, and we have assembled a team with a unique set of skills to do the math and massage the analytics. Let's go over the top 5 woke Hollywood disasters of 2023. Since this is our channel and we can do what we want, we're going to start with number 6, The Witcher Season 3.
They're all searching for you, Siri.
I thought Witcher Season 3 was underwhelming. I was a bit disappointed with it. It had this really cool action moment in the, 5th episode or something like that. And then, yeah, I was a little disappointed. I don't think it was terrible, but I was pretty disappointed with Witcher Season 3.
You are the key to everything, Cirilla.
It's a Cirilla! Siri!
You're not gonna Black Sabbath copyright me. Is that like a cover band? What are you playing, dude? Gary, what are you doing?
Siri!
Where's the girl?
Where's Siri? He's looking for Siri. I need to find Siri. Where is Cirilla? Have you seen Cirilla? Siri! Where are you, Siri?
Siri, are you here? We're looking for Siri.
Yes, that was one of the storylines, that they're looking for Siri. Are you complaining that they're looking for Siri? Like, that's a storyline. Looking for somebody is not an uncommon storyline in fiction. That's not uncommon at all. What the hell?
Where the are you?
With the shift of the showrunner's vision, where it's an ensemble cast more so than a singular lead, and the perspectives is shifted to be almost more of a Cyrilla Yennefer perspective. And so it's about finding my character's place within that vision and making sure that I do everything I can to be as faithful to the source material as possible within the structure set out for me.
After Netflix ignored the not-so-subtle warnings from Henry Cavill prior to Season 2. After ignoring the backlash from a disgruntled audience following the disappointing Season 2.
I don't know. I thought Season 3 was I don't know. Like, I don't like Season 2 as much as Season 1. I won't call it disappointing, though. It was solid. Season 3 was definitely disappointing. Okay.
After that, Netflix...
Oh, and fun fact, like all these judges, like, they've pushed the idea that Henry Cavill left because he was outraged they aren't talking about the source material or following it closely enough. They push it so much that it feels like it's, like, actual common knowledge when it's not really. Like, as far as we know, like, he's been fairly silent about why he left.
Continually ignored Henry Cavill when he internally and very publicly stated,
For me, it is all about the books. I'm always of the mind, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. And I don't think they're broken.
Henry Cavill had finally had enough, and on October 13th, 2022, he left The Witcher. Then on June 29th of 2023, we all found out why. The Witcher Season 3 Part 1 featured more girl bosses than you can shake a box of wine at.
Yes, they have a school of sorceresses that was established in Season 1. Where, Gary, what the fuck? Yes.
Fan favorite Yasker is back, and this time, he's gay.
I am not gay.
He's bi. He slept with a woman earlier in the season, and then he sleeps with a man. He's bi. And, like, I'll be blunt, like, the way they handle the relationship with the man is actually really nice. They handle that really well. Not that I'm expecting Gary to appreciate it, but yeah. That's actually one of the strengths of Season 3.
Hey, I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Incidentally, we're still waiting for the Dan Bass cover from this season, and if any Witcher fans had any doubt prior to Season 3, they won't after watching it, because this is clearly Yennefer and Ciri's show, The Witch Her. Season 3 Parts 1 and...
The Witch Her. Jesus Christ. Let's get women pronouns in every title, because we can get our fan base encouraged. Yennefer and Ciri are actually very cool and interesting characters, in my opinion. Geralt gets some solid stuff to do, get some solid action pieces. Like, essentially, there's part of the story where he's trying to find Ciri. Like, both her and him and Yennefer are trying to find Ciri. If memory serves, they're separated for a while. And, you know, as I recall, during that time, we mainly follow him. Whatever. I mean, that's what Gary does. He frames everything as if, like, the white man is being put down. Well, he's not. He's not at all. This is all bait for his fan base, who are people who don't even watch this shit, who just follow what Nerdrotic says blindly. It's kind of pathetic, and frankly, if you're one of those people, you'll probably be watching this video because you need to get your rage out on Organized Chaos. And I'm just gonna say, guys, Gary's lying to you. He's lying. He's telling you bullshit. The white man, or men in general, are doing fine. Yes, we all suffer. I personally have tons. Actually, what I'm grateful for with the new year is that I'm getting my finances kind of balanced out. I'm doing okay right now. But there was a point earlier, that probably about midway last year, where my finances were fucking collapsing on me. We all have struggles. We all have struggles. It's not because society is pushing down the white man, though. There are societal things that push down people who aren't white men, though. And and there's nothing wrong with saying that or addressing that. It doesn't mean there aren't issues. Yes, and that's, and Gary's whole shtick is the same thing as all these other right-wing dickheads. Essentially, the white man's being pushed down, and the reason you have troubles in life, the reason you can't be with the women you want to be with, the reason you can't have the job you want, is because somebody who's not a white man who is taking that from you. Women are becoming feminist and taking the initiative and taking power away from you, and then affirmative action is taking these jobs away from you, and it's all fucking bullshit. Yes, there are problems in societies. Those aren't it. Women wanting equal rights aren't it. People who aren't white wanting equal rights aren't it. But facts and data.
And 2 were based on the book A Time for Contempt, which is strangely appropriate because showrunner Lauren Hisrich and her patriarchy-smashing on-crack team of writers clearly have contempt for the lore, men in general, and The Witcher, who, in Season 3...
You see, they make a big deal about the fucking books, and apparently Henry Cavill's read the books and likes them. I would be kind of surprised if Gary's read the books. I know he's a giant nerd, and frankly, he lies about a lot of this stuff. But the Witcher books are not the most popular thing in the franchise. The Witcher games are what made the show possible. And when the show started, they followed the books more than the games because the books are more of a narrative they could work with. Apparently, Henry Cavill's a big fan of the books, which is why he signed on, partially, to my understanding. I don't know the full details. And now they're diverging from the books. Apparently, I don't fucking know because I haven't read them. All I want are good Witcher seasons. Season 1 was fucking... I loved Season 1. Season 2 was good, and then Season 3 was meh. It was definitely a letdown.
Parts 1...
But I don't... my whole point in that rant was I don't want necessarily a 100% faithful adaptation of the book. I just want good TV.
And 2 appears on screen in less than 25% of his own show. When Henry...
I want to double check that shit. That doesn't sound right at all. He was in a lot of that. 25% of Season 3. Are we sure about that one? That does not sound right at all. That sounds like bullshit. Did Gary do a search and found out that nobody's done a Season 3 time breakdown and said, fuck it, I'll just say whatever the fuck I want? Okay. Not quite what Gary said, but I'd be interested in a full breakdown. So, apparently, according to Adafy, I don't even know what the fuck Adafy is, the highly weaponized autistic... What the fuck am I looking at? Okay, well, it's saying that for Season 3, episodes 1 through 5, he only had 73 minutes. Which honestly seems a little spotty to me. And this website seems very spotty the more I'm looking at it. Still, that's only the first, that's not even the first, that's just the first 5 episodes. Shane, it seems like Shane's coming in here with a pretty base take. And hello, Shane. Bob, there's no such thing as a faithful adaptation of anything, book or otherwise. Stuff will be condensed to fit whatever medium. Stuff will be taken out, and new stuff will be added in. I will say, Shane, I think that's a base take. But I slightly disagree. I think, for me at least, what I consider a faithful adaptation is something that's true to the spirit of the characters and the story that was intended to be told. However, if you're, which I believe your point is actually that no adaptation will be 100% accurate to the source material. I believe that's your point. And on that, I 100% agree. It's impossible to make something, an adaptation 100% accurate to the original. That's just not how it works. That's not how creation works. You just can't do it.
Henry Cavill's Witcher does appear on screen. He's sitting down and talking, sitting next to beds, dancing, or asking for Siri.
Okay, so real quick. Got spot real quick.
Oh, when Henry Cavill's Witcher does appear on screen, he's sitting down and talking, sitting next to beds, dancing, or...
Okay, so this little dancing, he's dancing, is the prequel to a huge fucking non-stop action episode. Like an episode where just shit hits the goddamn fan, and yes, Geralt is fighting and killing a lot of fucking people. Why? Like, I've already said season 3 disappointed me. Gary, stop fucking misrepresenting it, dude. The whole point was to build up to that episode. And that episode was the highlight of season 3. Easy.
Or asking for Ciri.
Where's Siri?
The only monster he fights on his own is made out of fleshy girl bits with the...
Oh, the only monster he fights on his own. Is that important, Gary? Is it important that he has, like, 10 monster fights on his own every season? Like, what standard is that? The only monster he fights on his own? He fights a lot of fucking people in that season, and there's only one he fights on his own. So? Like, is there an issue getting help from people? Like, the fuck? Especially when you're fighting these wild, mystical fucking creatures. I think help's not uncalled for. Weird fucking standard, Gary.
Detached heads that look like testicles, which is probably some intersectional feminist allegory for the subjugation of women.
You know, what I love is the fact that when they know of a spin of something they could do to make something sound like really like super like feminist or man-hating, they will all of a sudden be like these perfect, these like incredibly in-depth movie analysis buffs. But when there's something that they might be able to vaguely allude to, they'll all of a sudden not be able to do shit like that and just vaguely allude to it. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Boring!
To be fair, that argument...
No, we're at number 6, which is... Like, he picked something that I'm not even a fan of. Like, it was disappointing, and I'm still fucking defending it because he's misrepresenting it like mad. It's... Oh my god.
Can be made for the rest of the episode, all of season 3, parts 1 and 2, all of season 2, and hell, season 1. The Witcher does have one more battle.
Oh, so you don't like it at all? The fuck, Gary? Why are you even watching it?
A beach off with Vilgefort, which sidelines him for the final 2 episodes.
Number 1, he is a major character in the last couple episodes. He's just injured, and the last episode is him getting into a fight with people and being victorious despite his injuries, showing that he is back and capable of fighting this guy. And the whole Vilgefort thing was done to establish that Vilgefort's fucking a serious fucking threat and can kick his ass, and will have to be something they deal with in season 4, which unfortunately will not have Henry Cavill. We'll have to see how Liam Hemsworth does. Like I said, this season was disappointing. I wasn't super thrilled. I was kind of hoping to see Henry Cavill kick Vilgefort's ass after Vilgefort kicked his ass, but it is what it is at this point.
And Henry Cavill, possibly the best casting choice for a fictional character in a Hollywood production in...
My God. Just because you can use him leaving towards your narrative, all of a sudden he's the best casting choice in a fictional production ever? Like, the fuck? Dude, Jesus.
Recent memory because he played the Witcher games, read the Witcher books, and respected the Witcher lore, is unceremoniously saved by a woman in his final skirmish over a girl getting her doll stolen.
Number 1, you were just commenting how he didn't get an action scene. Now you're talking about an action scene he was in. But all of a sudden it doesn't count because he got help from someone else? So fucking stupid, Gary. Serious.
And it should be no surprise that The Witcher lost 30% of its audience from season 2 to season 3 part 1, and then lost another 30%.
You have, I guess you kind of brought up how Henry Cavill left. I mean, I feel like that's a large reason why the season lost a lot of its viewers, because the word came out that Henry Cavill had stepped down from The Witcher. Once that word came out, I was a little not excited for season 3, because I like Henry Cavill as The Witcher. I know finding out Henry Cavill left me not super thrilled to dive into Witcher Season 3, but I did, and meh.
Between Season 3 Part 1 and Season 3 Part 2.
So, do you think, Gary, do you think the reason Season 3 had lower ratings was because people were disappointed that Henry Cavill, that this would be his last season and it'd be going on without him? Or do you think it's because they psychically knew before they watched it that this season would be woke? Because Henry Cavill only does one solo fight and does fights with... Yeah. Which do you think it is, Gary? Just think about that.
And unsurprisingly, the audience scores cratered on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. All this happened despite Lauren Hisrich begging the fans.
I mean, the scores, like, yeah, they're worse, but like, okay, so that's Season 2. I thought Season 2 was decent. I'm kind of surprised it only got 56%. But like, it's still, like, it's positive, negative. And
unsurprisingly, the audience scores cratered on...
Positive, negative. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, they're less. They're like 20 points less, 30 points less on the audience score, 20 points less on the critic score. But like, yeah, it's not as good a season. Nobody is arguing that Season 3 was the best season of The Witcher, Gary. Nobody. But again, do you think that was because it was not the best executed season? Or do you think it was because, women did too much? Because your whole argument so far has been women do too much. Oh, there's women sorcerers in this. Oh, there's women helping Geralt. Oh, Yennefer and Ciri are doing too much screen time. Those have been your fucking complaints this season. That's it, Gary. Like, no, those are not what's wrong. The problem is, this story was unimpressive.
On Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. All this happened despite Lauren Hisrich begging the fans to come back after Henry Cavill left, and...
Exactly. Henry Cavill left, and people weren't excited to see Henry Cavill not being in The Witcher. I wasn't, because I thought Henry Cavill was great in the Geralt role. He's phenomenal.
Throwing his replacement, Liam Hemsworth, under the bus with a billboard that says, yes, he's still Geralt in Season 3, and then retweeting it from the Witcher account. And the pride of Poland is...
What? How, what? Yeah, no, Henry Cavill's still there in Season 3. That's all they're saying. Because probably lots of people assumed he wouldn't be.
Turned into a fanfic intersectional feminist fever dream.
I swear to God, Gary sees a woman and he can't handle it. Like, it's like women just scare him so fucking much. He just can't handle women in media. It's like, oh God, they're scary. They might ask for equal rights or be cool. Women can't be cool.
Reflecting the Los Angeles that the writers live in today. Recently, Witcher author Andre...
It's a fictional universe. They can populate with however they want, dude. Fictional.
Sapkowski came out and admitted that Netflix never listened to him. That's obvious, but don't feel bad. They didn't listen to Henry Cavill or the fans, and now they have a dead show. Number 5, The Doctor.
The Doctor Who specials were awesome. What? The fuck? Dude, the Doctor Who specials were way better than fucking Witcher Season 3. The fuck is this list? Jesus.
Doctor Who's 60th anniversary specials.
So, this species only communicated with their eyebrows. I went, I mean, come in peace. I am your friend.
Can you pass the potatoes, please?
Just gotta love how he's focusing on the trans actress. Yeah, he's not a bigot, guys. He's not a bigot. We'll see how he dives into this, but like, I love how all these guys have become Davros stans over that fucking like 3-minute special on YouTube. We'll see if he dives into it.
Doctor Who remains the worst case of franchisicide in entertainment history, taking the iconic Doctor, a well-established male character, and turning...
Oh my God, how dare they make the Doctor different genders and races, despite the fact that they established that the Doctor can regenerate into new people, and maybe it's time to let someone besides a white man do it?
Turning him into the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker.
Don't be ridiculous, Franklin. I've read the files. The Doctor is a man.
I've had an upgrade. Hi.
And that was only the beginning, and by the time the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's disastrous run was over, the Doctor was no longer from Gallifrey.
I guess I need to watch fucking Jodie Whittaker's run at some point.
And the first Doctor was changed from William Hartnell to this little girl.
I believe I can fly.
Again, I haven't seen The Timeless Child, but retcons are cooked in with Doctor Who. It's a huge element of it.
And unsurprisingly, the ratings cratered. The fans left in
I'm seeing audience scores. What's the critic scores? Why are you cutting out the critic scores on this one, Gary? What are you hiding? I also like how they always go to Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, Gary, did you watch it? Give your opinions, dude. This is your YouTube channel. You can like when you're I guess when you're doing like Rotten Tomatoes scores, you're kind of just saying like kind of general vibes. But then that doesn't even really apply if you're not doing both scores. All right, so the overall scores on the series are 90 and 65. So season 12 was 78% with a 16%. So the score, like sometimes viewers will have a drastic difference of opinion of something than the critics. Looking at this, my first guess would be review bomb. The audience score means nothing. 90%. Gee whiz, Gary, why weren't you showing the critic score? I'm confused. Oh, was season 13 maybe called Flux? Was that it? 82. Okay. Intriguing. But yeah, the critic score will give you an idea of what what the general reviews of it were. Doesn't mean you'll like it or not. It just gives you an idea of what the general reviewers thought. As for the audience score, it used to just kind of give you a vibe of what the general audience thought of it, but now it's fucking useless because chuds like Gary and his ilk have used their audiences to review bomb this shit, and now it's fucking useless. Anything that stars a woman, you can't take. Anything that stars a woman or minority, you can't, like, really do anything with the audience scores. And even, like, now it's even stuff that maybe doesn't even star a woman or minority. It's just, stuff that maybe at one time did. Yep. Anyways, so far his argument against Doctor Who has been, woman doctor bad. Great take, Gary. Thoughtful, brilliant analysis. I don't know why you aren't seen as the most brilliant movie reviewer in the world. Roger Ebert, Gene Siskel, they never thought to say woman bad in their review. They never thought to put woman pronouns in show titles to make it sound dumb. They never thought to do that. And that's something you have over them, Gary. Well done.
Droves. Jodie Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chibnall were sent packing, and Doctor Who was almost canceled again. But then...
Yeah, it's got like, it's been going on for like 13 years. And it's been, yeah, it was canceled. It was canceled when a white guy, when Sylvester McCoy was on The Doctor. What? Come on. And yeah, no, so they brought it back with David Tennant and Russell T Davies, which is awesome. And then Disney is now co-sponsoring it, or I don't know if they're co-sponsoring it, but they're hosting it on Disney Plus. So I'm sure that helped it get renewed too. It's helped with the budgets.
In the 11th hour, there was some hope. Fan favorite Russell T Davies had been hired to return, and he was bringing David Tennant and Catherine Tate with him. This would begin with a set of 3 60th anniversary specials. Had the BBC learned the error of their ways? Would this be a return to form? Would these specials be a fun, thrilling celebration of a show that has been a part?
Oh, the 60th anniversary specials are showing 96 for critics and 43 for audience. It's getting fucking review bombed. I will say I think 96 for critics is maybe a little high, but like, although yeah, it's average, so it doesn't necessarily mean quality. But like, 43 for audience, get real. Those specials were overall very entertaining. They're very good.
Part of British culture for almost 6 decades, or would they ally themselves?
You do remember Doctor Who was canceled for like almost 20 years, right, Gary? Like it wasn't a part of the culture. Well, I mean, I guess you could argue it was, but like they weren't making any new Doctor Who for a while.
Themselves with Disney and turn the Doctor Who 60th
Oh, we cut to the trans woman immediately to show Gary's not a bigot.
anniversary special into insufferable propaganda.
Yes!
Oh my god, they're all doing the message shit.
The meat. I promise I can help him get home and then you'll never see me again.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
Sorry, good point. Are you he or she?
How dare the doctor get notified that maybe he should double check pronouns and go, oh yeah, you're right, I should double check pronoun, and do the proper thing and ask pronouns. The fuck is wrong with him? He should just be like, no, your pronouns are this. Fuck you if you disagree. You don't get to choose your pronouns, I choose your pronouns. That's what a man does. Gary, if you, there's a term for people who refuse to acknowledge people's pronouns on purpose. Asshole. I mean, I'm not saying you have to follow people's pronouns, but like, you're an asshole if you don't.
Chosen pronoun is
beep bop boo.
I'm sure showrunner Russell T Davies.
Oh, they did a Gina Carano reference. Cool. Great.
And his Disney Doctor Who pals are well aware that the Doctor Who fandom would love to see the Doctor reunite with possibly other Doctors, other companions, and go up against villains like the...
Well, you know what? They did something different. Well, number one, you want to talk about villains. They brought back the Toy Makers, played by Neil Patrick Harris, something we haven't seen since the first Doctor, which is pretty awesome. Neil Patrick Harris cheesed the shit out of that role, and it was awesome. This Master actually didn't throw me. I preferred Missy, the woman they cast as the Master later. I actually really liked her Master. The only Master I liked more than her was the Anthony Ainsley one from the classic series. I thought of New Who, she was the best Master. Anyways. Yeah, but they brought back the classic Toy Maker. And yeah.
Master, or the Cybermen, or the Daleks.
Like I said, they brought back the Toy Maker and gave him Neil Patrick Harris, and it was pretty cool.
With Davros. Well, we did get to see Davros, who can walk now because he was cured by political correctness.
It is set before his injury. Gary! It is a goofy little comedy skit set before his fucking injury, you dipshit. Quit misrepresenting it. I know you know that. That's 101. Pay attention.
There's a problem with Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who is evil. And I had problems with that, and a lot of us on the production team had the problems with that, of associating disability.
Okay, so like I've actually learned more about this because I talked to Mr. TARDIS, which is, I'm pretty sure I left that on I tried to leave the interview stream still on the channel, but I talked to Mr. TARDIS, and like not only is like he's doing this little thing for the behind the scenes of the Children in Need special, which is like a 3-minute fucking special that you can watch on YouTube immediately. But anyways, it was a almost like a comedy skit thing where it explains why the Daleks get the plunger hand, and we see Davros for like 10 seconds or something. It's not that big of a role, but like he walks on its development of the Daleks. And there's this background. Russell T Davies is like, oh, we you know, he's injured, and we just don't want to show that he's a bad guy because of his injury. We want to show he's just a bad guy. And what they do, I think it's almost kind of brilliant. Eric Roberts, Archmage. You're gonna get me on a tangent with that Doctor Who movie and Terminator. Anyways, what they do kind of brilliantly with having Davros be not a wheelchair user in that special is they establish that the reason why Davros is evil, it has nothing to do with his injury, nothing to do with his disability. He's just evil because he's evil. And I think that's actually kind of cool. And again, it's set before his injury, so it makes sense that he's not in a wheelchair.
Ability with evil.
Real quick, I will go ahead and do a side thing because I got my point out. Eric Roberts plays the Master in the Doctor Who TV movie from the 90s. It was Paul McGann's one appearance as the Doctor. Eric Roberts is cheesy as fuck in it. There is literally a scene where he is reenacting the police station scene in the Terminator where it's the I'll be back scene. It's pretty much reenactment of that. And it is like, the fuck are we doing? It's surreal. Like, it'd be one thing if, like, the Master knew that movie and it was purposely, but, like, it was obviously supposed to be, like, this ripoff. It was... Listen, Paul McGann, I think, had potential to be a fantastic Doctor, and he does fine in that movie, but that movie is bad. It's bad. Anyways, back to Nerdrotic, apparently trying to argue that Doctor Who is bad and woke now.
What?
Okay, yes, Gary. There are good characters in film history in a wheelchair. Cool. Thank you for establishing this. Hello, girlless has no name. And I know Eric Roberts be cheesy. It's unheard of. Never happened.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I say this is how we see Davros now. This is what he looks like. This is...
He's gonna fucking stand for Davros right now. Davros, who is pretty much Doctor Who fucking Hitler. He's Doctor Who Hitler. And, you know, he's gonna stand for him because how dare we show him before his injury where he's not in a wheelchair.
2023, and he looks like this now. And that we are absolutely standing by.
And it was all downhill from there. Instead of the Doctor reuniting with fan-favorite characters like Captain Jack, we are...
So, John Barrowman does have some sexual abuse allegations against him. We are only 8 minutes into this. Fuck! Anyways, they're not likely to invite John Barrowman back anytime soon. So they brought back Donna. I don't know, like, apparently, yeah, they brought back Donna, who is a fan-favorite companion, way more than Captain Jack. The fuck, Gary? Are you just upset because they brought back the woman companion, which most of the Doctor Who companions, especially New Who, have been women? There's some men, but usually they have a woman companion. I mean, if they brought back Captain Jack, you'd probably just complain because Captain Jack is... I mean, wait, I'm trying to remember. Is he gay or bi? I think the character's supposed to be bi, but we've only seen him in relationships with other men. And Torchwood, he was pretty much exclusively with other men.
Introduced to Donna Noble's daughter, Rose, who we are told...
And I love doing the quotation marks over daughter. That's her daughter, dude. Move on.
...is beautiful.
The most beautiful daughter in the world. You?
Yeah, she's fairly pretty. Move on. Like, the way right-wingers focus on trans people, it's fucking weird, dude. Grow the fuck up.
Look absolutely gorgeous. She looks gorgeous.
Does she look gorgeous? Yes.
She's brilliant. She's got this beautiful daughter.
Okay, I get it.
And one of the biggest disappointments is one of the many crimes against imaginations these specials commit. When Russell T Davies went back and undid one of the greatest stories ever told in modern Who, the Dr. Donna, and sacrificed it to the gods of identity politics.
Well, I mean, listen, that's actually a fair complaint. If he wants to complain that they destroyed... Well, they didn't destroy that storyline, but if he wants to complain he doesn't like that they retconned that storyline, then fine. Sure. That's actually a complaint towards the story. So, Gary, that's something. You're not complaining about trans people and women, so, you know, points. But, like, they obviously did, so they bring back Donna for the 60th anniversary special, which was fun. It was fun to bring her back. So, yeah.
And bringing back David Tennant just so they can kick dirt in the Doctor's face.
We know everything, thanks. And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Instead of finding...
So, I actually think that line is a little wonky. I'll say that's wonky. It's not... It's like 5 seconds. It doesn't destroy the episode. It's still overall a pretty entertaining episode. I do think it's a little wonky, though. I will say that. But it does drive me nuts, because, like, it's a little wonky, and then these guys will act like it's the fucking, like, death of the series that line happened. It's like, it's one wonky line. Move on, please.
Finding out what happened to Gallifrey, we learn that the Doctor is gay. Again.
Was it...
Did you miss season 1 of New Who, where the Doctor has a same-sex kiss? Did you miss that? That was very much a thing that happened. Just saying.
Me, or was Isaac Newton hot?
He was, wasn't he? He was so hot. Oh.
And if that was...
So yeah, does he actually have a sexual attraction to him, or is he just acknowledging he's hot? Because there are guys Al acknowledges hot. Like, Brad Pitt is a hot guy. I'm not into Brad Pitt in a sexual manner, but, like, he's a fucking attractive man. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Wasn't bad enough, Russell T. Davies reaffirmed the lore-destroying Timeless Children retcon.
You don't know where...
Lore-destroying. So, because the Timeless Child exists, the past 50-plus years of Doctor Who doesn't matter? Is that it, Gary? 60-plus years? It's all nothing now? The fuck, Gary? Come on.
You're from... How'd you know that?
And if things weren't gay enough for you, we have Neil Patrick Harris's Toymaker doing a musical number. And
dude, the fucking... him doing that, like... Okay, you're fucking missing the point of that kind of, like, fun-ass scene. Fun-ass, but also kind of terrifying scene. So, real
And
fast.
if things weren't gay enough for you, we have Neil Patrick Harris.
So this is Neil Patrick Harris as the Toymaker coming into unit headquarters and doing a dance and fucking their shit up. What this scene establishes is that the unit and the Doctor to a degree are fucking powerless against this being. They have guns. They are actively shooting at him during this moment, and they cannot touch him. And he is just dancing and having fun, because he doesn't care. Like, he is so overpowered, these guys. This scene is clearly meant to establish how powerful he is and how the Doctor, like, they can't just fucking, like, brute force him, because they're gonna lose. He is... Like, and you can look it up. I'm not going to play it because I'm sure I'll get copyright. But it's on YouTube. The Spice Girls Toymaker scene. It's clearly a scene to establish his powers. Because throughout this scene, the Toymaker's doing these dances. He's dancing to Spice Girls. And he's doing this fun, colorful stuff. And he is killing people. And, like... throughout the scene, like, the characters are freaking out. And the Toymaker is just joyously having fun. It's meant to establish how powerful he is. Gary. This is fucking writing. This is storytelling stuff. Pay a fucking attention.
This is Toymaker doing a musical number. And the regeneration of the Doctor has now been retconned into a bi-generation.
Yes, bi-generation, which was established was supposed to be a myth, but apparently it can happen. And since the Doctor is over, like he's done way more regenerations than your average Time Lord. Yeah, so this one ended up being wonky. And, dude, like, I'm cool with it. And you want to know why? Because it leaves David Tennant available to guest star whenever. And you don't even need an excuse. He can just be there. And that's awesome. And like, yeah, they gave his 14th Doctor, he got his goodbye and his happy ending. But it's obvious he's just kind of there in the back pocket. And he can pop up and help up Ncuti Gatwa whenever, which is awesome.
Real subtle. And now there's 2 versions of...
And you want to talk about a crossover of Doctors, the end of the special against the Toymaker was Ncuti Gatwa and David Tennant working together to defeat the Toymaker. That was the end of the special. 2 Doctors fighting the Toymaker.
Every Doctor, not 14 Doctors, countless Doctors. The lore is turned into gobbledygook that stand in for the older audience.
Dude, the Doctor Who lore's always been gobbledygook. Have you paid attention? Are you new? Are you fucking new? They retcon shit all the time. It's Doctor Who could be called Dr. Retcon. Like, that's how the series has survived for as long as it has. Like, if you don't want to do retcons, the series will die. It will. It literally will. Like, it won't last much longer. The retcons is how they keep it going.
Audience is the David Tennant Doctor who is retired, and the Ncuti Gatwa Doctor is off in search of the mythical modern audience who never bothered to...
I love how they use that one scene. Listen, I actually thought the David Tennant specials were better than...
Gatwa Doctor is off...
Yeah, they love to use this scene where he's dancing in the club, which is it's in the Christmas special. It's his first solo adventure, and you get the scene where he's in the club dancing. Oh my god, the Doctor looks silly. Never mind the fact the Doctor almost always looks silly to some extent. He almost always is silly to some extent. So, move on. And listen, so I thought the David Tennant 60th anniversary specials were better than the Ncuti Gatwa Christmas special. I did. But one thing that Christmas special did was it firmly established Ncuti Gatwa as a proper successor to the Doctor. He carried that episode brilliantly. I thought he was great. I'm excited to see what he does next.
In search of the mythical modern audience who never bothered to show up. And according to the ratings, which went down each successive...
Gary, what the fuck is your source for streaming numbers? Because that's been an issue. We don't have accurate fucking streaming numbers. And these are overnight numbers. This is one day. I didn't watch any of the specials the first... Wait. Okay, so the Ncuti Gatwa Christmas special. I saw that the day it came out. That's it. All the other ones I wait a day or two later. So and most people, like when something comes out on streaming, most people, like lots of people will see it the day of, but then lots of people will see it later. Like this doesn't mean fucking anything. They have to build it up to an event. Because if people get the sense, oh, I can just watch it a few days later and it'll be fine, they'll watch it a few fucking days later.
Episode and were barely above the disastrous Jodie Whittaker era. It showed that the older fans who you told to fuck off did, and the big Disney Doctor Who.
Is that it? Listen. I wasn't watching, and I joined back in during this period because I was excited to see David Tennant. But the reason I wasn't watching had nothing to do with fucking Jodie Whittaker. My personal issues, like, I thought Peter Capaldi was a good Doctor, but I felt like, while I thought his story ideas were creative, I felt like too many of his stories were these, like, really creative, really kind of great ideas that kind of just don't really go anywhere, and it got kind of annoying how often that would happen. Like, sometimes they go somewhere and it's cool, but sometimes just, like, oh, here's this really creative, cool idea, and it just kind of goes nowhere. Yeah. Have I watched What If? I've only seen the first episode. We will be covering it on the podcast on Monday, though. Season 2, I assume you mean, Taki. Because I've seen Season 1 years ago. But yeah. But yeah, that's the reason why I stopped watching Doctor Who. And it wasn't like I was hating it. Like, I didn't really intend to stop watching it. I just kind of, didn't go to the next episode after a little bit. And I kind of want to go back and catch up. But it had nothing to do with fucking Jodie Whittaker or fucking... It has nothing to do with woman or black person as the Doctor. Come on.
Who rebirth ended up being an exhumed, defiled corpse. It took a little over 5 decades to create 2 versions of the greatest show on the planet and a few short years to kill it. Rest in peace, Doctor Who. Number 4, Secret Invasion.
Oh, God, Secret Invasion was very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Let's see what Gary will get to.
Yo, Gamble, somebody here for you. Motherfucker, it's no time to gamble.
You wanna know how I got these scars?
I will defend the cat or the flirking scratch. I should be more accurate. Because here's the deal. There's never ever going to be a storyline for him losing his eye that will be satisfactory. There never will be. So I think the fun idea is do something stupid and then just have it be a thing where he makes up a story. I think that's the fun way to handle it.
What started out as just another abysmal and forgettable D+ show turned into unforgettable character assassination.
I don't know. Here's the thing of Secret Invasion. I actually thought it started out decent. I was engaged. I liked the idea of Samuel Jackson in a spy thriller, and that seemed to be what they were setting up. For me, my issues with Secret Invasion really came to the last episode. Because a lot of it, like, as it was going, it felt like they weren't quite really exploring the full potential of what they could be doing. And then the last episode really did shit the bed. It really fucking did.
Assassination and the very definition of the MCU.
Fuck. You see, like, he's going to complain that woman beat up guy. And listen, the major problems with the episode are that scene, but it's not because woman becomes super powerful and beat up guy. We'll dive into it as we go.
If it wasn't bad enough that we learned in Captain Marvel that Nick Fury lost his eye to a kitty cat and named the Avengers after Carol Danvers' test plane, well,
what is wrong with either of those things, Gary? Please just tell me. What is wrong with either of those things?
Disney Marvel wasn't done destroying his character. The Nick Fury from the comics was a veteran of foreign wars and a super spy.
That's pretty much what he is in the fucking movies, too. What are you talking about?
The Secret Invasion comic features...
Although I do notice you're using lots of pictures of the classic white Nicholas Fury. Not really going to cut to the ultimate one that's actually designed after Samuel Jackson.
The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Inhumans. The Nick Fury in the MCU is a pencil-pushing fraud.
When I came here in 1995, you were just a benchwarming nobody in a dumpy field office in S.H.I.E.L.D.
You got any more abuse you want to hurl my way?
And just in case you didn't notice, the writers of Secret Invasion wanted to remind you, Nick Fury is black.
Going for a walk.
Cool.
You going for a walk in Moscow at night? You're gonna stand out.
The Secret Invasion in name only.
He's just giving him a friendly warning. That's it.
Only on D+ features a gaggle of girl bosses leading around what is...
Yeah, how dare women be cool? No, you don't want to know what the issue is? Because the issue is, to a degree, their characters. But it's not that they fucking exist and have cool, badass moments. Is that they didn't really explore them particularly well. The series actually spends a lot of time with Samuel L. Jackson. And the relationship between Samuel L. Jackson and his wife is one of the strengths of that series. Another strength is the kind of the antagonistic viewpoint to Nick Fury and Rhodey. Spoilers, if you haven't seen Secret Invasion, it's disappointing. Rhodey is revealed to be a Skrull, and there's like an antagonistic relationship between those two, and it's nice to see those two play against each other. The disappointing aspect of Secret Invasion is that the whole thing ends up boiling between a fight scene between the two most powerful superhumans the Marvel Universe has ever fucking encountered. Literally two people who have all the powers of all the superheroes that were in Endgame. And it turns into this huge superhuman fight battle that, when it should have just been a fucking spy thriller. That's all it should have been. And it was frustrating.
now the
Yeah, and the color palette was shit too. I'll give you that too, Lucifer.
famous Disney trope, the sad and broken legacy character. And it won't be the only one on our list. The show is a sequel.
Oh, we're coming up to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was entertaining. I enjoyed it. Overall, it was good. It's not a classic Indiana Jones, but it was good. I'm sure we'll get to it.
Sequel to Captain Marvel without Captain Marvel that will lead into the true sequel to Captain Marvel where she was demoted in her own sequel. It also
You know, like, these are supposed to... woke Hollywood disasters. Okay, so Marvels will almost certainly be coming up. I'm sure he'll have really thoughtful base takes on the Marvels. He always does.
Features our villain, Gravik, the genocidal Skrull who wants to exterminate the human race because Nick Fury broke a promise to him when he was 9.
A little shit.
Rounding out the cast, there is Nick Fury.
Well, I mean that definitely didn't help, but also the Skrulls are just collecting up on Earth. They don't really have any representation. They have to hide on Earth to be accepted. And Gravik's kind of pissed at that. Listen, dude. Fucking Secret Invasion was fucking disappointing as hell, and yet you have me defending it again because you're misrepresenting it. For fuck's sake, bro.
Fury's wife, Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert Skrull, who is allied with the genocidal Gravik, but she seems far more concerned with Nick Fury loving her for her true self. Yep.
Yes, because they've been married for like a decade. For fuck's sake, Gary. Their relationship was like a highlight of that fucking series. Grow up.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
It is man!
And in true MCU fashion, Ben Mendelsohn is back as Talos, who somehow managed to get 1 million Skrulls to immigrate to Earth behind the super spy Nick Fury's back. And then he's
behind the super spy's Nick Fury's back. I love how you're cutting out context, because when was he bringing those people over? Gary, when? In case you guys are wondering, it was during the blip, when Nick Fury was effectively dead for 5 years. Just saying. He didn't have any... Essentially, he had a whole bunch of his race. He didn't know where to put them, so he was bringing them to Earth.
Ceremoniously killed and replaced by his much more capable daughter, Gaia, played by Emilia Clarke, who manages not to change her facial expression for the entire series. Then, because apparently there wasn't enough girl bosses in the MCU, we have Olivia Colman playing a girl boss. But there are some men in the cast. Or are they? James Rhodey Rhodes returns, played by Don Cheadle. Except it's not Rhodey, it's a Skrull, and not just any Skrull, a female Skrull.
God, this is such a confusing erection.
But that's not all. According to series director...
Does the gender of the Skrull matter? She's still a villain. Whatever.
Elise Salem, James Rhodes has been a...
Yeah, no, the issue was never Olivia Colman or Emilia Clarke. I feel like they were underwritten for their roles. I feel like I didn't get a good sense of their characters. They were badasses, sure. Oh, and I hated turning the final episode into an action thing, when it should have been a spy espionage thing. Instead, it was a big action fight. Blah.
A female Skrull since Civil War, meaning James Rhodes doesn't know Tony Stark is dead. He wasn't at Tony Stark's funeral. He wasn't at the battle at the end of Infinity War. He wasn't at...
So, was he not there? Yeah, no, it looks like probably, but we actually don't know when he was taken. All we know was that he became a Skrull sometime after Civil War. That's it. That's it. We don't know the exact timeline, dude.
At the battle at the end of Endgame, and he wasn't in this scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but he was on...
He almost certainly was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
This very hospitable planet in Endgame.
This is the promise. While you work to keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one.
After Nick Fury supposedly breaks the promise to the 9-year-old to find him a home, Gravik gets angry and hatches a plot to start World War III and steal the Avengers' DNA, which was conveniently collected by the super spy Nick Fury.
Yeah, it's a little weird that he collects the DNA. And I feel like, it's all kind of set up, and I'm like, oh, they're going to do Super Skrulls. And, it's kind of a cool idea, because I like the idea of somehow Nick Fury taking down a Super Skrull by, outsmarting them. But that's not what they do. They just turn it into an action fight. Big special effects CGI fest. It was disappointing.
into a single vial. And then the technically advanced Skrulls who are capable of interstellar space travel but still can't find their own home, not to mention the fact that one of them has actually been on a hospitable planet, decide to make a magical bullshit machine that will infuse them with the Avengers' DNA that was conveniently collected in a single vial. And it works so well, it passes on things like tattoos and rings. And because this is the MCU, the final showdown is not between Nick Fury and Gravik, it's between Gaia and Gravik. Now, Gravik and Gaia as Super Skrulls possess all the powers.
Now, again, I would have preferred Nick Fury versus a Super Skrull having to outsmart him, because it was, that was it. Now, if it was somehow the thing with Gaia outsmarting him, that would have worked as well. But, the issue isn't it's a woman beating up a man, Gary. The issue is it's a CGI fest and a fucking spy thriller.
Of the Avengers, including the OP Captain Marvel. You would think they would be evenly matched despite the obvious size difference. But this is Disney Marvel, and Gaia wins easily with her masturbation arm. This makes her the most
cool,
powerful superhero and the poster child of the MCU. And it should be no surprise that Secret Invasion was the lowest rated Disney Marvel show on D+.
And it wasn't because the reasons you mentioned. It was because they turned what could have been a cool spy thriller into a CGI fest, Gary. It was a massively disappointing ending to what could have been pretty fucking cool, for fuck's sake.
So, after breaking a promise to a genocidal 9-year-old boy, getting Maria Hill killed, remaining sad and broken all while embracing his strange kind of love, Nick Fury fucks up and leaves behind 1 million angry Skrulls on a destabilized planet to go into number 3. The Marvels.
We have a sold
No, The Marvels is only number 3. I'm actually kind of surprised.
out show, and I'm about to surprise the fans. I hope they recognize me.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to welcome you all.
You see, he did a funny edit. He did a funny edit. So, fun fact, this screening would have had to been before the actor's strike, because Brie Larson would not be allowed to do this during the strike. And I guarantee you it was to a packed audience. Absolutely. It's not like she went to some random fucking theater.
So are you excited to see it, or no? Anyway, I won't keep you any longer. Enjoy the movie.
Show us your tits.
Yeah, let's just objectify her real fast. Cool.
Blackjack magic!
Despite Captain Marvel making $1 billion.
You know, they made a big deal of the Black Girl Magic line. That was just a joke. Listen, I didn't like the Marvels, but come on. That was just a dumb joke. If you're getting caught up on that, move on.
Benefiting from being sandwiched in between 2 of the most anticipated sequels of all time, anyone with a slightly above room.
I love how, okay, so I thought the Doctor Who specials were solid. But other than that, he's picking stuff that I was not a fan of, but, I'm still have to defend it because he's misrepresenting the shit out of it.
Temperature IQ knew this was fool's gold, because as sure as the sun is...
That's why this is familiar. Thank you, Archmates. Yeah, this is the Cowboy Bebop theme. I don't know why he's playing it.
Gonna rise in the east and set in the west.
I agree, Geek Prime. I thought Marvel's was better than Aquaman 2.
Sure as the Rings of Power Season 2's gonna suck, and as sure as Movie Bob's gonna have a bad take, we knew the Marvels would flop. It was just a question of how badly. Now, there were a lot of warnings.
I mean, Movie Bob usually has decent takes, in my opinion. I'll just go ahead and say that real fast.
Signs including the continually lowered box office projections, as well as Disney Marvel trying to trick people into the movie theaters with this trailer.
We destroyed Thanos.
I did think that trailer was kind of weak sauce. I'll give you a point, Gary. That trailer where it was lots of Endgame stuff was kind of weak sauce.
But it's not over.
My work is inevitable.
I think I prefer Shazam 2, but I thought Shazam 2 was a little underrated. I thought Shazam 2 was solid enough. It didn't blow my mind, but it was fun.
There will always be more to finish it.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, this will definitely be a case where he's talking about, box office means movie bad. Never mind the fact that there's been lots of historical box office bombs that have turned out to be good. And I don't think the Marvels will be one, but like box office doesn't equal quality. But you know, if it's useful to them, they will use it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Byron, that's a huge reason. Stars aren't able to promote it, so it slowed down their ability to promote it, sell it.
And on the weekend of November 10th, 2023, we found out. Indeed, shocking news. The Marvels was the most unanticipated sequel of all time, where the titular character was demoted in her own sequel.
I get it, because she has tits. Ah! Very clever, Gary. Mind-blowing. Cool.
A film that required a lot of homework. If it wasn't bad enough to rewatch Captain Marvel, you were all...
Captain Marvel is a fucking solid movie. Move on. Like, it's not like the best superhero movie ever, but like, it's decent, man. You guys give it too much shit. God damn. Captain Marvel was way better than the Marvels. Come on.
Also required to watch 3 Disney Plus shows. WandaVision.
So yeah, I do feel like that's maybe one of the weaknesses of the Marvels you could levy at it, because like they don't. It's definitely going to benefit from watching that other stuff, without a doubt. Like they don't do a great job of throwing you in there if you've not seen the other stuff.
Miss Marvel and Secret Invasion, and unsurprisingly,
I don't know how important Secret Invasion is. In fact, I would say Secret Invasion was the least important. In fact, I would argue. More important than Secret Invasion would be the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
3 shows no one watched led into a movie no one watched. The Marvel's opening weekend was the worst debut in MCU history. And for the unfortunate few who actually watched this, you understand why.
How long will you play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Don't be so...
Oh, wow. She's reacting to your like... the people online who are negative about who are negative about her. Gary, did you know there are people online who are mean to Gary? Like, you may not know this, dude. You're looking kind of like a fool for posting this. Brie Larson has a huge hate campaign against her, Gary. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's pretty bad, and that's why she's doing this silly joke. Because lots of people have been mean to her online, Gary. Lots of people, Gary. I can't believe I have to explain this to you. I thought you would have known. I thought you would have known. But lots of people are mean online to her, man. They're evil. It's tough. Brie Larson has like the most negative hate videos on YouTube. Gary, I can't believe you haven't become aware of this. Poor Gary. Like, there's no way for him to know. It's not like he's like responsible for this or anything. He's not responsible for it, but. He's definitely someone who it's not like he instigates it. There we go. It's not like he instigates this at all. He doesn't instigate hate for Brie Larson. He just has no idea, guys, right?
You're modest.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The film features star of multiple canceled comics, Captain Marvel, and another star of multiple
canceled comics. So you know, we started this stream talking about like me doing like comic books again. So you want to know something I noticed about comic books? Here, I will pull up the new releases that just came out this week. Okay, so these are the comic books that came out this week. Marvel comic books here. So we got Star Wars Darth Vader number 42, Amazing Spider-Man number 41, Venom number 29, Fantastic Four number 15, Doctor Strange number 11, Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy number 5, Captain America number 5, Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood number 4, Star Wars The High Republic Shadows of Starlight number 4, Thanos number 2, Star Wars Visions Takashi Okazaki number 1, Fall of House of X number 1, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Facsimile Edition number 1, Vengeance of the Moon Knight number 1, Beware the Planet of the Apes number 1, Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man 2099 number 1, Kid Venom Origins number 1, Marvel Meow number 1. Now, what do you notice with these numbers? Yeah, they have a bunch of variants too. And I'm not gonna lie, actually looking at a lot of these, I'm like, man, I wish I could do more than 3 a week. But like, I want to not just do Marvel too, but like, I want to dive into Miguel O'Hara. I want to check out this Moon Knight one that looks fucking cool. I won't mind like doing some Doctor Strange or some Silver Surfer. Maybe even some Captain America. Zombies could be fun. But listen, I can't do them all. Number one, I can't even afford it. But anyways, these numbers are all low. The highest number here is 42. Now, I know when I collected comic books, I was getting like fucking like Amazing Spider-Man. Like, it was like Amazing Spider-Man number 400 or some shit. Like, the numbers were insanely high. But that's not how they do comic books anymore. They reboot the series all the time. And it's a soft reboot. You know, the old canon's still there. All the stuff they had before is still there. But they do a soft reboot, and that way they can reintroduce the characters to people, and they can feel comfortable. Because when you want picking up a comic book and you don't know where to start, those number ones are fucking tempting. Number ones will always outsell anything else. So they do frequent soft reboots. And that's just the way comic book industry runs right now. That's it. So this idea that, like, Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel have their books constantly canceled. They're constantly canceled. Well, no, they're doing soft reboots because they do that for everybody. Just fucking everybody. I mean, yeah, Doctor Strange 11, Fantastic Four number 15. Do you think those are the first books? Do you think throughout their fucking 60-plus year history, they've only done 15 issues of Fantastic Four and 11 issues of Doctor Strange? Get a fucking grip. No. Captain America number 5. No, that book's been around since the fucking 40s. They're doing soft reboots all the time, and it's a way to goose sales. It's just how they work. It's total lie manipulation, trying to make it out like, oh, these books aren't successful, so they get canceled. Yeah, they get canceled and instantly soft rebooted. Instantly. It means the character's sticking around.
Canceled comics, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. All three have vaguely defined energy.
Oh, has Spawn not been rebooted? That's interesting. I didn't know. I kind of assumed Spawn would do the same thing too.
Powers that range from omnipotent to useless. And our three females are up against another woman who just so happens to have vaguely defined energy powers that range from omnipotent to useless that come from a bracelet. Yet another race and gender.
So, the villain is weak in the Marvels. Villain is very weak. That is one of the weaknesses. The weaknesses are the villain and the three leads are... Well, I want to stress, the three leads are actually strengths. The issue is they don't give them enough to do together. There's some great character moments between the three leads. Three actresses do a great job. But, like, there need to be more. I wanted to get more into their characters. And the villain need more background. The issue with the villain is not it's a woman of fucking color, Gary. Please.
Swapped character from the comics, Dar-Ben, who comes off as...
Oh god, Dar-Ben's been gender swapped? That's like my favorite fucking character in the comic book. I've modeled my entire fucking life after Dar-Ben of the fucking comic book. Jesus, Gary. Move on. Nobody cares.
As a soccer mom who has a side gig selling crafts.
What makes her a fucking soccer mom? That she's a woman? That looks like she could have the age to have children? Gary, for fuck's sake, bro. No.
On Etsy cosplaying as Ronan the Accuser, who...
They're the fucking quantum bands, bro. They're one of the most powerful artifacts in the Marvel Universe. You know that, Gary. You've read comic books.
Will now be known as Woman the Accuser. The Marvels can be summed up like this.
Suck! Suck! Suck!
After Woman the Accuser stole the plot from Spaceballs, 4 women fight over accessories.
Women!
And because there wasn't enough diverse women...
You know, they make it about accessories, and they ignore the fact that, like, hold on. No, I will show it in the stream. I will show this, because this is a key thing. Because he wants to make fun of accessories in a comic book movie. Well, did you make fun of this accessory, Gary? Look, it's an accessory. What a lame fucking movie. This dipshit's using an accessory. Fucking jewelry? The fuck? What character uses fucking jewelry? So fucking lame. Come on. This is a fucking movie about a dude bedazzling his gauntlet, isn't it? The fuck? Lame, lame, lame. No, that argument against fucking the quantum bands drives me nuts. Dude, listen, they could have told the story better. They could have established quantum bands better. But like, oh, they're using accessory. They're using jewelry. Fucking, it's comic book lore, bro. Jesus.
Women in this film, we get cameos from King, Valkyrie, and non-binary. Sure, there are some men. Nick Fury returns to herd cats and become comic relief. There's Prince Yan, who's featured in a music.
Why is he calling him Nick Fury? Am I missing something? Is there a joke? Is it because he was scratched by a cat? I'm just really confused why he's Nick Fury all of a sudden.
Musical scene that makes you want to stick sharp objects in your ear.
My princess from the start.
Stop.
Ha! Gay!
You cut out, like, the joke, Gary. The joke was actually you're going after the one thing that was actually kind of funny. So, like, she's on this planet, and it's established that this planet, their primary form of communication is singing. It's a joke. It's also a comic book world that's canon. But, like, they sing to each other. They do musical numbers to communicate. That's how they do it. And the joke was, and she was about ready to interrupt him and say, hey, can you just talk for a moment? We need to talk to you. And he's like, okay, sure. And then, like, the Photon, Monica and Miss Marvel are like, hey, he doesn't have to sing. And Captain Marvel explains, yeah, he's bilingual. And that's actually a funny joke. Now, I will say the issue with this planet was that they didn't do more with the singing aspect. Like, literally, I want to see a fight scene where they're singing to each other, like, battle orders and shit. I would love to see that, personally. But, like, yeah, the singing planet was a joke. It's a joke. Move on. Yeah, and again, yes, I agree. We need to, Poku Fan 03, we need to stop using gay as a negative, frankly. Like, I used to use it as a negative, and I've evolved since then. I think if I can evolve, other people can evolve as well, because I'm nothing special.
Stop.
Ha! Gay!
And the rest of the male cast is Body Positivity Personal Assistant and Man Bun Personal Assistant. A film experience.
What the fuck, Gary? I love when they spend time picking out the male characters in movies. Like, how insecure are you that you have to make sure every movie you watch has some sort of male to female ratio? Like, grow the fuck up, bro.
Best summed up by the Irish Times. The Marvel Cinematic Universe disappears up its own black hole. All brought to you from a director that was cast and not hired, who left the project early.
She did the Candyman reboot, which is, I haven't seen it, but it's supposed to be really fucking good. I've heard really good things about it. Now, obviously, The Marvels wasn't a hit, but he's going to attack her because she left before the movie premiered. She did, because she had another project to work on. And she actually came out and she talked about, hey, this movie got pushed back a lot. I stuck with it as long as possible, and I was pushing back this other project as long as possible. And finally, I just had to do it. I talked to the producers. They said it was okay. By Gary going ahead and attacking her for that aspect, what he is doing is, I want to make sure Gary's fans who watch this video when it's clipped out later pay attention. What Gary is doing is towing a corporate line, because that was Bob Iger's reason. He threw her under the bus to explain the bad box office. So when Gary does this, I want you to understand, it's because he's just towing this corporate line. It's a bullshit line.
and as a writer of fan fiction, Nia DaCosta. And after opening to the worst debut in MCU history, the Marvels had the worst second-week drop in MCU history, and the massive cope ensued. Nia DaCosta tried to blame the toxic fandom. The Access Media tried.
Nice video drop there, Gary. Back before you were a piece of shit. So she was just like this. She did this quote where she was talking about how there's shitty people online who spread misinformation about media. And Gary, this is an accurate quote. They do spread misinformation on media. They do say virulent and violent and racist and sexist and homophobic things. And Gary, I'm watching one of the videos that fucking does that right now. Just saying.
Fandom. The Access Media tried to blame YouTubers. Bob Iger.
Did they try to blame YouTubers? I think all they did was point out that there's a misogynistic, bigoted YouTubers who are shitting on the movie. Which is true.
Iger tried to blame COVID and lack of supervision over the female.
Yeah, no, the Bob Iger lack of supervision thing was a shitty take. Super shitty.
Male of color direct.
Although it's worth noting, COVID isn't unrelated. All you chuds in the comments try to act like COVID still isn't affecting movies. And it's like, yes, it is. It absolutely is. It's doing it differently than it used to. People aren't really scared to go to... There are some people who are still scared to go to the theater, but, like, that's mostly past. But what happened was COVID made it so that stuff comes to streaming way faster than it used to. So now, people are used to, oh, that movie's in the theater. It'll be streaming in a couple weeks, so I don't have to go. So people now will only go to the theater unless it's, like, a super, super huge event. It has to be an even bigger event than it was before. And frankly, there've been too many box office, too many huge box office, big budget movies. It's tough to make them all that big event, so that you're gonna get ones that fail, like the Marvels, like Aquaman 2.
Director you hired, Bob? Shame. And although everyone in woke Hollywood wants to, you can't blame men, because it turns out that the movie made by diverse women, starring diverse women, wasn't watched by any women.
Well, it was watched by majority men audience, according to the study that I've heard. I haven't double-checked this, mostly because I don't care. I agree. Movie flopped. It did not bring in its budget. I would argue the first flop in the Marvel Cinematic Universe history. You know, I mean, it's not good, but, like, it was bound to happen at some point. Why do we have The Departed on, Gary?
And after 4 years since...
Wait, the fuck?
its predecessor...
Let's drop a clip from The Departed in there. Why not? Sure. Well, cool.
Multiple reshoots, and a budget that ballooned over $300 million. The MCU goes down in flames. The Marvels was not only one of the biggest flops of 2023, where it had a lot of competition, it was the worst flop in Marvel Cinematic Universe history.
It was the only flop in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. Just saying.
Things got so bad for Disney Marvel 3.5 weeks into the Marvel's release, they decided to stop reporting the numbers. And after looking at the box office, you understand why.
No, I don't even care to look. Listen, it flopped. I'm not arguing it didn't flop. I am arguing against a lot of the points you make against the story of the movie, but, like, it flopped. Yeah, it flopped. Can we... Like, you guys are taking such a victory lap on this, and it's like one Marvel flop out of, like, 27 projects or whatever. Move on.
A film that couldn't even pass $100 million domestically and barely pass $200 million internationally. It's one thing to make an intersectional feminist fever dream that's ultimately a bad movie featuring characters no...
Intersectionalist feminist fever dream. Gary! The Marvel stars 3 women. That's it. That is fucking it. Like, explain to me the feminist story point or the feminist... Like, There's not even like those girl power scenes you guys like to fucking throw a fit over. It was literally just 3 women in an action movie. It just wasn't very well done. But like, yeah.
No one cares about, starring an actress who's a vapid narcissist.
Is that like a...
Oh, she's a vapid narcissist. I did not know that. Thank you, Gary, for explaining that Brie Larson's a vapid narcissist. I didn't know that. Here, I thought she was just a woman who thought that maybe people who aren't white men should have a chance to be movie critics occasionally. I don't know, seems like a reasonable take to me. What's your problem with that again?
Personal attack or something?
It's another thing to destroy a beloved character. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay, so we're at number 2. I don't know what number 1's gonna be. Do you guys know what number 1's gonna be? Like, he's covered all the stuff I would assume he would cover. What else is there? One thing could be Quantum Mania. I don't know. I assumed Marvels would be number 1. God, these guys are so fucking insecure about Phoebe Waller-Bridge. For fuck's sake. She's a beautiful woman who's a talented writer. Like, what? Like, why? Oh, Barbie. I bet you're right, Archmage. It'll be Barbie. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Mission Impossible underperformed. Did you guys know that? It didn't flop, but underperformed. They would really love to make Phoebe Waller-Bridge the new Brie Larson, just like Rachel Ziegler. They've been trying. They got a little traction on Rachel Ziegler, but it fizzled out fairly quickly. Like, they couldn't even push the Rachel Ziegler stuff through the Hunger Games prequel that just came out that she was in. Give you an idea. That is true. Barbie didn't bomb. But this isn't the top 5 bombs of Hollywood. It's the top 5 woke disasters. So, Barbie has a possibility, I think. Unky Claw. Indiana Jones 5 was okay. The biggest problem was Harrison Ford not really giving a shit anymore. The lady character was a great character. She was actually my favorite part of it. Well, I thought Phoebe Waller-Bridge was very good in it. I thought Harrison Ford did a solid job in the movie. I think it does come off like he's kind of almost too old for this shit, but I think that was called for with the character. I thought it worked. Oh yeah, and good point, Shane. She co-wrote No Time to Die, and No Time to Die was a fantastic James Bond movie. Like, what's the issue?
Can we have another bottle of wine, please?
It took just over 10 years for Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm to kill the Star Wars franchise, and just one film to do it with the beloved hero of Generation X, Indiana Jones. In March 2016, when...
Beloved hero of Generation X? I've never heard Indiana Jones described that way. Listen, I'm as old as you can get, pretty much, and still be a millennial, and I grew up on Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, that came out when I was a baby, and I loved it, and I watched it pretty much to death on VHS. Yeah, and I would actually say, like, the Doctor Who specials, this is another one where, like, most of the stuff he said were stuff that I wasn't really a fan of, but, like, Indy 5 was solid. Like, it wasn't mind-blowingly good, but it was decent. It was entertaining. They did great de-aging on Harrison Ford. Shit, it looked awesome.
Indiana Jones 5 was announced, it was met with a collective...
Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
Why?
What?
This time...
Okay, so the why was money. Yeah, listen, it underperformed. It definitely underperformed. I won't argue it bombed, but I would definitely argue it underperformed. But the why was money. Disney wanted money. And it will probably make more money based on, like, future releases. We'll see what happens with it. But long-term wise, Indiana Jones 5 will be sold in tons of box sets. It will have lots of chances to earn its money back over time.
Time around, there would be no Steven Spielberg or George Lucas. Still, Harrison Ford was back, John Williams was back, and Kathleen Kennedy was back to the franchise where she made coffee. Indiana Jones 5 was...
Oh my god, they love to make a big deal. Oh my god, she gave coffee to Steven Spielberg when she was starting out. It's like, yeah, everybody starts out somewhere. What does it tell you if she starts out where her job. Well, listen, I don't think her job was ever to just get him coffee, but let's just say her job was literally just to get Steven Spielberg coffee. That was the job she started out with, and then here she is many decades later, and she is the person who's put in charge of Lucasfilm by George Lucas, handpicked by George Lucas to run Lucasfilm. It tells you not only was she good at getting coffee, probably, but she was good at fucking producing movies. And that's the thing, like, I've been over it before, I'm not gonna do it again, but her resume is unfucking real. Kathleen Kennedy is a fucking legend in the movie industry. Are they all winners? No, but there's a lot of fucking winners there. But yeah, let's just ignore it because woman and scare men. The fuck?
To be helmed by prolific director James Mangold with an over $300 million budget. What could possibly go wrong?
Harrison Ford has suffered a shoulder injury while working on Indiana Jones 5.
It turns out everything, and the first sign of trouble was the casting of one Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Okay, we'll get to Phoebe Waller-Bridge in a moment, but like, if you know anything about Harrison Ford history, he can get a bit fucking reckless. Like, I've never heard of him hurting someone else, but like, he's suffered plenty of injuries during his time out there. It's kind of a miracle he's still alive and in as good shape as he is. And as for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, listen, I haven't seen that show she did, Fleabag. I did see No Time to Die, and I don't know what she rewrote on it, but movie turned out pretty fucking good. Her role, I don't think she wrote Indiana Jones. Maybe she did. But, like, her character in the Indiana Jones 5 was pretty solid. And, like, they tried to make out like she's this, like, perfect character in this movie, and she's not. She's kind of sleazy in this movie.
Hollywood critical darling is famous for the nihilistic intersectional feminist show Fleabag. You might also know her as the robot who...
Oh, the robot! I almost forgot about the robot. Yeah, she played the droid in Solo. Listen, again, I was not a fan of Solo. I don't know, I don't hate it, but it was kind of meh. But I thought her droid was actually pretty entertaining. I thought she was funny.
Who had sex with Lando Calrissian and the woman who killed James Bond. Shocking.
Okay, listen, I'm going to cut it into its own video, so I'll again explain. Daniel Craig hated playing James Bond. He despised it. He hated, essentially, if you ever see an interview about Daniel Craig talk about the character, like, he talks about James Bond as the most toxic man ever. And he hates getting in the mindset of playing a character like that. So, to do a fifth one after Spectre, what they had to do was pay him a fuck ton of money and almost certainly guarantee him that would be the last movie he would be in. And if it's guaranteed to be the last movie he is, well, let's take him out in style, and that's what they did. Now they'll reboot the James Bond franchise, and cool. Like, Daniel Craig got a good final outing. He was awesome.
Another bland brunette.
And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is apparently working on Tomb Raider for Prime Video. That seems like a decent fit. Like, she just did some Indiana Jones, so it seems like she'd be a good fit for that.
British woman in a Kathleen Kennedy Disney film.
There was no one else we had in mind. We were only writing it, thinking of her voice.
Another.
Oh, yes, Gary. Lots of times when directors or writers write movies, they write it with certain actors in mind. Now, it doesn't mean that they are going to get that actor, but they frequently write it with actors in mind. Frequently, like, when you have a director writing, you'll have these directors that have group of actors that work around them, and honestly, crew that work around them, and they will write roles with certain actors in mind that are typically in that circle. So that way, like, when they get ready to make the movie, they're just like, okay, here's your role. Boom. This is a common fucking thing, Gary, and you fucking know that. You can't be as nerdy as you are and not fucking pick up on shit like this, Gary. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, you're like over 10 years older than me. You know this.
Other sign things might be going wrong over at Lucasfilm is director James Mangold having a complete meltdown on Twitter and attack.
Fun fact. Replying to people means complete meltdown. That's what that means. Didn't you know that?
fucking fans, including blocking me. Then Disney did the
Good for fucking him. Because fuck you, Gary.
inexplicable. They released it at Cannes, where it was panned. Could Indiana Jones and the Diapers of Destiny be a flop?
Well, it said to a tepid response, which is actually kind of surprising. I thought, as I recall, it did okay at the film festivals, but I don't know. He might be cherry-picking his sources on that one. And yeah, Indiana Jones 5 was totally decent.
I don't care.
Following this, Disney and Lucasfilm did the most ill-advised thing of all, releasing the film, serving up the Disney trope of the once-beloved.
Oh, so you think they should spend like $300 million on a movie and not release it? They're releasing it, Gary. This isn't going to be a David Zaslav tax write-off. Not on the money they spent on this one. And David Zaslav is actually starting to suffer some consequences for that. We'll see how long-term they are. But, he keeps on writing off these movies and dumping them. And it means creatives don't want to work at Warner Brothers. That's an issue.
But hero turned into a sad, broken old man who's going to pass
That's why I heard Lucifer. I heard it got a standing ovation.
the mantle to the far more capable girl who's the key to everything. And Harrison Ford has completed the bad dad trifecta. Han Solo was a bad dad. Rick Deckard was an absentee father. And now Indiana Jones is a bad dad.
Were they? So, God, what was the story with Kylo Ren? I don't think it was because he was a bad dad, though. Their son joins the Jedi Order. He gets tempted by the dark side. He kills a whole bunch of kids. It causes a friction in his and Leia's relationship, and they break up. But, at the end of the day, he still tries to save his son, and that's what tries to get him killed. Han Solo gets killed being a good dad. Maybe not the best husband, but a good dad. And honestly, a marriage goes both ways. So, he tried to save his son, and he got killed. So that's not a bad dad, in my opinion. Now, for Indiana Jones, since we're looking at that right now, Marion didn't tell him that he had a son. So he was an absentee father who had no idea he had a kid and didn't find out till later when he was in the son's life until he died at Vietnam. And then we actually don't know. He was an absentee father in Blade Runner 2049, but he finds his daughter later and he goes to talk to her. And that's kind of the end of the movie. Not something a bad dad does. My God, do you know what a bad dad is, Gary? Pay attention.
The one good thing to come out of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull was its ending, which is now completely undone. Indiana Jones is sad, broken, possibly alcoholic. His son is dead and
possibly alcoholic. Listen, man, he's definitely drinking a lot. And I love this, because this is the setup. This is them establishing that Indiana Jones is kind of down in the dumps at the beginning of the movie. It gives him something to overcome at the end. It's called a fucking character arc, Gary. Pay attention.
And he's been served divorce papers. Fun.
Oh my God.
It was only a matter of time for Kathleen Kennedy to get around to destroying Indiana Jones, and our expectations were not subverted.
Was there a chemistry test? How did you get to know each other?
I met her in the street. She was mine for the price of a drink.
Wow.
But the worst crime against imagination, aside from...
Fun fact, Harrison Ford is known to just kind of say whatever during interviews because he is literally an old man who does not care. And frankly, I think it's awesome.
And this film actually being made is having Indiana Jones being led around by an insufferable feminist...
Is that what fucking happens? Did we watch the same fucking movie, Gary? Because what was actually happening was that she's jumping ahead in the adventure. She is getting reckless. She's almost getting killed. And Indiana Jones is, yes, he's following, but he's trying to get her on fucking track and not get fucking killed.
in a boring movie. The film centers around an insufferable feminist and Indiana Jones trying to chase a MacGuffin, the Antikythera mechanism.
God forbid we have a MacGuffin in an Indiana Jones movie, Gary. Wouldn't it be weak? Like, who puts a MacGuffin in an Indiana Jones movie? Are you fucking serious? Like, it's not like the franchise is built around fucking MacGuffins or anything. Gary! He throws out, like, his audience is not gonna understand what a fucking MacGuffin is or their role in movies. Because MacGuffins are a very useful tool in movies as long as they're used properly. And yeah, Lucifer, we all know woman equals feminist, because that's Gary can't handle women, because he's insecure as fuck. Yeah, he's chasing a MacGuffin. Woke!
And keeping it out of the hands of 5 or 6 Nazis who want to go back in time and reboot the Fourth Reich. Indiana Jones and the...
Yeah, that sounds bad, right? Like, rebooting the Fourth Reich is bad, at least from my perspective. Maybe Gary thinks that'd be okay. I think that'd be bad.
A Diarrhea of Destiny's plot can be best summarized like this. An insufferable feminist and Indiana Jones race against time to save Hitler. And
so, race against time to save Hitler? The fuck? No, to stop, not, they go to stop Nazis, Gary. Okay. But yeah, I like, he keeps on calling her insufferable feminist. Like, she's just
be best summarized like this. An insufferable...
Yeah, she's just a fucking woman who is kind of, frankly, kind of seedy. She's kind of a con woman. She's someone to, she's not a bad guy, but she's not someone to be fully trusted either.
Feminist and Indiana Jones race against time to save Hitler. And no, we are not kidding, that is the premise of the film. Showing that even the best directors can forget to be talented when they work at Lucasfilm, the boredom is only broken.
Explain how they're trying to save Hitler, Gary. Like, they're working together to save Hitler? The fuck?
Up in this over 2.5-hour movie filled with CGI bloat with the occasional annoyance, which is mostly due to Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
This relic is my property.
No, is he not going to show clips from young Indy and complain about bad special effects? Maybe he thought the effects were so good he can't even cover it. Because they do like to sometimes show decent special effects and say, oh, it's bad. Just to frame it for their audience, who I swear just take all their marching orders from fucking YouTubers. It's ridiculous. Gary's audience, you're gonna watch this, you're gonna hate watch this. I want to tell you, you can do better. You can pick better YouTubers. I'm not saying you have to watch me, although thank you for watching me. But you can do better than Gary. You can do better. There's so many better movie YouTubers, comic book YouTubers, so many better. Off the top of my head, Red Letter Media. Like, if you want to see negative reviews, but, like, done in this semi-talented way, fucking Red Letter Media is where you go. Your movie sucks, YMS, there you go. You want to see people bash on movies, but, like, understand what the fucking art form is, there you go.
Not yours. You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
Don't you love it when a multi-billion-dollar international corporation that spent $300 million on this film alone and is...
Dude, like, Brad Jones has his issues, but yeah, he is way... Like, dude, like, I think equating him to Gary is kind of radically unfair.
So far in bed with the CCP, they thanked a concentration camp in China.
Not this movie, Gary. Mulan 2020, which was a bad movie. Move on. And in case you're wondering, like, yeah, I thought it was bad, so I looked it up, and you know what? They shot there, and they had to thank them for shooting there. And if you want to say, hey, they shouldn't have shot there, yeah, no, I kind of agree, but, like, that's what happened. That's the story.
Calls out capitalism.
How did you end up like this?
I mean, resourceful, daring, beautiful, self-sufficient.
I can accept a bunch of angels coming out of a gold box and...
Well, I mean, my issue, Carl, was that Gary seemed to be framing it as if Indy and the goddamn it, Phoebe Waller-Bridge character, as if they were trying as if they were working to save Hitler, which is not what was going on.
And melting Nazis. I can accept Indiana Jones, Willie Scott, and Short Round jumping out of a plane in a raft and surviving. I can accept a 900...
Okay, so the jumping out of the raft and surviving was always one that bugged me more than anything else, because everything else has some sort of explanation. Jumping out of the raft and surviving, I was just like, ugh.
100-year-old knight in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I can even accept Indiana Jones surviving an atomic explosion in a refrigerator.
That was really bad, Gary. I don't know why you'd accept that one. Listen, even if the radiation doesn't kill him in that refrigerator and it protects him, the impact of him getting bounced around would kill him. It was something I forgave at the time because I wanted to like the movie, and it followed up with that really cool shot of the mushroom cloud with Indiana Jones in front of it. But yeah, it was weak.
Refrigerator, but there's no way you're going to convince me Phoebe Waller-Bridge is beautiful. And by the end of the film, Indiana Jones just wants to be left behind to die, and so does the audience. Then,
yes, it's his fucking arc, Gary. This is him at his lowest point, and he needs brought out of it so he can, like, patch things up with Marion. That's... Jesus.
Then he gets slapped by the insufferable feminist, which represents Kathleen Kennedy slapping every fan of George Lucas and his works in the face by destroying every last vestige of George Lucas's legacy. The only thing that's slightly less believable than Phoebe Waller-Bridge being beautiful is how Kathleen Kennedy keeps her...
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is very attractive, Gary. What are you talking about? What? What? The fuck, Gary?
her job. Disney and Lucasfilm have pulled off the impossible. They made an Indiana Jones flop. And while Indiana Jones and the Insufferable Feminist was the most vile desecration of a beloved character in 2023, you can make things better by repeating after me.
Like, number one, her whether or not she's beautiful or not doesn't really impact the movie. But, like, that's just so weird to say she's ugly. It's like, what the fuck, Gary? Number one, no. But, like, number two, like, how's that really impact the movie whatsoever?
Only 3 Indiana Jones films.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that does seem familiar. Yeah, he wants to kill. Okay, he wants to kill Hitler and take over the Third Reich. So he's trying to make out like they want to save Hitler, when in reality they're just stopping the rise of the Third Reich. Yeah.
Before we
I agree, Byron. Dial of Destiny was fun. We get some honorable mentions. Nice.
To number 1, dishonorable mentions. The Flash, rumored to be one of the most expensive movies Warner Brothers has ever made, turned into a catastrophic flop that not even the return of Michael Keaton's Batman could save.
Michael Keaton was awesome in that movie. Just saying.
After this humiliating disaster, the only question left is, what should Ezra Miller be in jail for? The multiple assault charges or this film?
I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights.
Robin Hood. A race and gender swapped Robin Hood fights for the right to steal from the rich, have multiple sexual partners, and become an influencer.
Gary, like, did you watch it? Like, you have to actually analyze it. You're just spitting out like story points in an adaptation. It's literally an adaptation. It's someone taking the Robin Hood story and doing a modern twist on it. I haven't seen it. I can't judge it. But, like, it's a modern twist, dude. It happens.
A series so bad, showrunner Director X decided to bait YouTubers so it would get some attention.
No, he didn't bait them. They were already going after it, and he called them out. Because, frankly, no matter what you think of the series, what Director X did was pretty fucking based, in my opinion.
As heels versus babyface. And I subscribe to you. You look goofy. What a whore! She's a whore like her mom! What? Bro, you sound crazy. You sound crazy.
On the subject.
Wow, could you cut that up anymore? Let's see if I can find, like, he did like the Director X did like a short. Let me see.
So, my show Robin Hood is getting rating bombed. 1.6 out of 10. Now, you probably, why would someone do that? It's just some TV show. Well, being that Robin is actually a black woman this time, the angry nerd community is very upset. In fact, from the moment it was announced, these guys lost their minds. The moment. So this is a month ago. So this is just when we said we're releasing it. What the fuck is this? Race and gender swap. Woke disaster. Robin Hood remake looks different. Haha. Guess what? He doesn't like that it's a black woman either. This will fail. Robin Hood gets blacked. Look at him laughing. It's so funny. All right. Just when we started production, they were talking about it. 1 year ago, they were at us, right? Pop culture crisis. It's a crisis that we're doing Robin Hood. What the, right? When this person put this up a month ago. So this is just when we said it's coming out. These videos are coming from either from the announcement or when it said it's coming out. Right? Like other languages. Look, another guy. Like they're worldwide. These guys are going in. A black woman is going to be Robin Hood. It's going to be horrible. How could black kids do Robin Hood? Right? And these people tell you they're not racist. I've watched a lot of these guys. I subscribe to a few of these guys. They're adamant. They are not racist. Yeah, swear up and down, not racist. They say we're the ones that making everything about race. This guy's fucking French. This dude here put a black wizard with fried chicken and a gold necklace. But they're not racist. They're not racist. Watch this.
Everybody must eat.
That was a cute one, right? And then on the posts. Yeah, Robin in the Hood is not exactly a new idea. So when you go to IMDb and you look at user ratings, I have almost 158 people have given it a 1 star, 68%. 22 people up here, 10 stars. Look, when I go by country, Canada. 1 star, look at this. It's still 15 for the 10s. There's a real gap in between. United States. Remember, the show's not released in the States. United Kingdom. Show's not released in the United Kingdom. Australia, I think they might, look at this. This is what these guys do. Sweden, look at this. And remember, these guys will tell you the type of men they are. Real men, eh? Yeah, so this is what these guys are doing with themselves. This is the time they have in their life. This is the manosphere. This is the manosphere. This is what a man does. If you ever had the guts to talk to a girl, to walk up to a girl and start a conversation, if you ever had that ability, because I'm sure some of you do, would you tell her that you made a user account on IMDb so you could review? Would that be the thing you would do that you think would get you ahead in the conversation? Would you tell her that? You're a man, right? You do man thing. So that's what these men are dealing with. That's what's going on. I smile at my haters. Robin Hood, Wednesdays on Global, 10 p.m. Eastern after Survivor and Ghost. Tune in. This Wednesday, episode 2's up. Go back, watch episode 1 if you ain't seen it, because you need to know episode 1 to see episode 2. And we just can't mind these youth, bro. What are you going to do? It's from goof tank, bro. Fucking goofs.
So anyways, that was his video where he called him out. I thought it was pretty based. And yeah, you could kind of tell he seemed kind of upset. Like he was just kind of realizing it. Like Lucifer was saying, like he's just kind of realizing how bad these guys are. They're awful. But you know, I thought it was based that he called him out.
Object of race.
Oh, yay, Cleopatra. A show nobody cares about, dude. Nobody cares.
Swaps. Let's go historical. Cleopatra. According to the Netflix documentary, Cleopatra, the last Egyptian queen, was known to be Macedonian, Greek, and Persian, but now apparently she's black, according to some woman's grandma.
I don't care what they tell you in school. Cleopatra was black.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. Paul Rudd needs the help of 3 women, an old man, and some communist ants to go up against the new big bad that will take the MCU through the foreseeable future. Kang, played by Jonathan Majors.
The actor was found guilty of misdemeanor assault and harassment for attacking his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, so of all things, go after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is not a fan. Like, it's fine. I enjoyed it, but like, it wasn't like great or anything. of all things, go after it for. The fact that Jonathan Majors was arrested and found guilty of assault seems weird to go after it for, because that's not the movie. Like, Jonathan Majors was actually one of the strengths of the movie. So was Michelle Pfeiffer. And that movie very much starred Paul Rudd. He was, like, the main character, without a doubt.
And then promptly dropped by Marvel Studios.
Ooh, is Little Mermaid gonna be number one? It could be Little Mermaid. Let's see.
Ahsoka. After the complete destruction of George Lucas's Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy goes scorched earth, bringing back former Jedi Knight and...
Yeah, Ahsoka was awesome. I don't have much to add, except Ahsoka was a really well done sci-fi, fantasy, Star Wars show. It was awesome.
Dave Filoni blow-up doll, Ahsoka Tano. Along with her female force, they set out to build a new matriarchy where women are free to cross their arms, have staring contests, and search for balls in an ongoing mission to usurp Luke Skywalker's story.
Sure, whatever. Oh, that's a cop-out. Number one's woke Hollywood? The fuck? Is it gonna be the strikes? What the fuck?
Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine.
Wait. You're comparing 2023 box office results to 2019, Gary. What happened between 2023 and 2019? I mean, there might have been a worldwide global pandemic. Maybe. That shut down all theaters for almost a year. Maybe.
When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always...
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Play bang, bang. He shot me.
Yes, that is it. Okay, so strikes are a last result. But yes, jobs are lost because of strikes. They are. Yes. Anyways, jobs are lost due to strikes. This happens fairly... Well, I mean, always. It always does. If a studio can find a reason to fire somebody because of a strike, they will. It's typically illegal, but there's a loophole, they will use it. They will. Absolutely. Strikes are a last resort, and it's when there's the studios are unwilling to do a fair deal. If they're unwilling to do a fair deal, if they're unwilling to pay their workers a fair amount, then yes, they go on strike. And yes, jobs will be lost during a strike. It is a sad effect. At the end of the day, they got the deal. They didn't get a perfect deal, but they got a significantly better deal than they went in with. They got a lot of the stuff they wanted, which is the point.
Me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang.
Gary, the work stoppages cost Hollywood billions of dollars in delays. Gary, I didn't know you cared about billionaires' money. Because this is you crying about billionaires losing money right now. For fuck's sake, Gary. No.
That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down.
It was the fuck-aroundest of times and the find-outest of times for Tinseltown. After a tumultuous previous few years showing Hollywood was already in decline, including, but not limited to, the death of the celebrity, the decline of the award shows due to obnoxious activism, declining linear
No. It's not activism that kills award shows. If you want to really tear apart award shows, like, a lot of them are just kind of jerk-off fest to themselves. They are, bluntly. Lots of the awards don't really mean anything, but it's not because they're, like, activists. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's always been activists. Like, fuck, did you miss fucking Marlon Brando? When he won, I don't remember what the movie was, but he won, and instead of going up there, he sent a Native American up there to explain how Native Americans are being mistreated by the United States.
My name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry and on television in movie reruns, and also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
Like, it's been there forever, bro. It's not like a new fucking occurrence.
TV ratings, abandoning viable revenue streams like licensing and the theaters to go all in on streaming, losing billions of dollars on those streaming services.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on streaming services because for a while there, theaters were closed. They needed someplace to release their content and make money. So streaming service was the future, and it probably is the future. That being said, we have way too many streaming services right now. Way too many. It's a bubble that will burst.
Is losing billions of dollars in stock and billions of dollars in box office revenue. Vapid annoying adult pretenders, Alien.
Oh, vapid annoying adult pretenders. Listen, of all the people who are responsible for the box office and stuff like that, although, like, still the biggest contributor to the box office is COVID. I mean, here, I'll pull up the numbers real fast. I've done that before. I'll do it again. So, box office by year. Pretty easy to see what the numbers tell you. So, yeah, we've only made $68 million in 2024 because, like, yeah, we're barely in 2024. But, essentially, it seemed like we were plateauing around $11 billion in the box office annually. And then, of course, 2020, theaters were shut down for most of it. So we only made $2 billion. And that's all movies combined. Only made $2 billion in 2020. And that's been rebuilding since then. And it is still not to $11 billion. It made almost $9 billion. Even despite the strikes. The strikes slowed down the growth, but there's still growth from 2022. You got $7 billion in 2022, almost $9 billion in 2023. So, like, it's rebuilding, but it's not there yet.
Country with insufferable corporate activism. What's a struggling industry to do?
Do you really think people said, hey, I'm not going to go watch that movie because that dude was in that cringe video? They might say, I'm not going to watch that movie because that dude, like, said some cringe stuff online. But, like that I'm Responsible video that the actors did, or the Imagine video they did, cringe. Although I will say, at least their heart's in the right place. But it is cringe.
Well, in 2023, Tinseltown decided to put its nose to the grindstone and show us that they could lose more money than we can possibly imagine. Despite the massive success of Super Mario Bros. And Barbenheimer, it was all undone by doubling down on the activism, burning.
It was all undone? What are you talking about? It still built up, despite the strikes, it was still an improvement from 2022.
Billions churning out horrible content on unprofitable.
Strange New World Season 2 was awesome. Like, the musical episode wasn't brilliant, but, like, the overall season was great. And that finale, fuck. That is a tense finale. Like, I cannot wait to see the new season.
Streaming services, which were losing millions of subscribers and contributing to billions of lost dollars.
True, Bob the Old Waste. Chudpocalypse is real. This is his number one. It's what he's got.
At the box office and on stocks. The entertainment capital of the world was experiencing a little shrinkage, and they weren't taking it very well. It was the year the streaming bubble burst.
Okay, I mean, you use a clip from Loki. I'm just going to say Loki Season 2 ended really well.
The year of the flopbuster. Then the impossible happened. Hollywood gave themselves yet another grievous mortal wound and did the world a favor. They stopped working. That's right, the Writers Guild of America and the Film Actors Guild, the major contributors to Hollywood's death spiral, decided they needed more money and went on strike.
Wow, so the writers and the actors are the ones responsible for the box office not doing well. Never mind COVID, never mind executives. No, that has nothing to do with it. It was because of writers and actors. It was because of workers. Why? Listen, the societal problems are because of workers, not because of executives. The executives put in the hard work. The workers always let them down. For fuck's sake, Gary, that's your argument right now. Shit.
The timing couldn't have been worse for them and better for humanity. So, while the people who make up the pretend and pretend in the pretend fight the people who pay for the pretend during the summer of the flopbuster and peak television,
They fight the people who pay for the pretend. Yeah, they fight. They're fighting the people who are making billions on their hard work.
while squabbling over a shrinking piece of a shrinking
Yes, Bob, the old ways. Writers famously become billionaires in Hollywood. That's a very common occurrence.
pie. And what of the audience and the paying customers that Hollywood took for granted? What were we plebs to do while we were stuck with things like podcasts, YouTube videos, video games, books, music, friends, family, going outside, and 100 years of superior television and film? And for almost 6 glorious months, the world began to heal. There were no insipid late-night talk show hosts pushing propaganda.
Again, wow, that was really annoying. But like, again, he is...
glorious months, the world began to heal. There were no insipid...
He's making fun of vaccine stuff. They do this. They like to go out of their way to make fun of vaccine stuff. Guys, the COVID vaccine's important. You should get it. There's an update one that came out a few months ago. It's probably worth getting if you're healthy enough and can handle it. COVID is still a real thing that still kills people.
Late-night talk show hosts pushing propaganda. There were no adult pretenders on the red carpet or promotional tours regurgitating divisive politics they learned from their assistant who learned it from TikTok. No, content.
Well, in case you're wondering, a lot of the stuff they say during interviews is stuff that's kind of pre-planned with the studio. They kind of have a script during those interviews that you guys seem to watch a lot, which is a reason I don't watch them, because there's nothing substantial in them.
Had to speak for itself, and it did, with flop after flop after flop after flop after flop after flop. Bad news for Hollywood, great news for the human race, and it doesn't end there. Thanks to the strike, a vast majority of the crap streaming shows and potential flops were delayed till 2025. Still, woke Hollywood finds a way. While insufferable talk show hosts weren't allowed to work, they decided to start a podcast.
I tried to get a vasectomy while we've been on strike this summer.
Why?
You're making fun of him for being a vasectomy? Like, dude, like, he doesn't want, like, there is, like, a value in that? Like, do we really want to get into, like, hey, like, it's good to have sex with a condom, but, like, the fun of not having sex with a condom? Like, do we really want to get into this, Gary? For fuck's sake. Like, is sex just for, like, what a weird thing to chip out. Fuck.
And thanks to the weaponized autism of the internet, older clips resurfaced of what would be the new queen of woke Hollywood, Rachel.
Oh, we're getting into Rachel Ziegler. Hey.
Zegler, who pulled off the impossible. She didn't just alienate half the audience, she alienated the entire audience.
Nope, she didn't even alienate half the audience. She just alienated your audience, Gary. Which, by the way, it's very easy to alienate your audience, Gary, because your audience is a bunch of triggered fucking snowflakes. Hey, guys, I know you're watching. I just want you to know, you're triggered snowflakes. And sometimes people just have to break it to you hard. Fucking grow up. Talk to a woman. Don't be intimidated by her. But also, don't be an asshole to them either. Just get out there, touch some grass.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated. That it's no longer.
Wow. So you're saying something that's actually just factual and true.
1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
What did you mean by that?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a...
Yes, listen, man, you Nerdrotic fans who are so hard up on the 1937 old Snow White, have you even fucking watched it recently? It's a fucking old movie.
Big focus on her love story. with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
And after the strike, the actress who participated in the attempted canceling of Jeremy Renner and Gina Carano changed her.
I haven't really heard anything about that, but I mean, Gina Carano is a bitch. She is.
Tune. And again, that is one of many self-inflicted wounds, while Rachel Zegler is the actress.
And I know, oh, god damn it. That's my fault. I got a bad pause of her. Jeremy Renner has been known to do some cringe before, but yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak too badly on him, because the dude did, I guess not just recently, I guess it's been over a year, but he had that terrible snowplow accident and almost died.
Actress who represents everything wrong with Hollywood. She works with the company that's everything wrong with Hollywood, Disney, after Bob Chapek was fired in the...
Well, I mean, an argument can be made Disney is everything wrong with Hollywood, but it's not for the reasons you make, Gary. It's because it's a giant monolithic company that has way too much of the market share and has gotten to the point where it just pushes out like big budget blockbusters, 4-quadrant movies nonstop. And because it's doing this, it's encouraging like everybody else to follow suit, and it's not pushing out the best content or best movies.
In the middle of the night on a Sunday, Bob Iger's triumphant return has turned into nothing short of a catastrophe. And now the weatherman has to lord over the failures he created, including the continuing problem of Kathleen Kennedy still having a job after killing Star Wars. Then there's
Kathleen Kennedy was handpicked by George Lucas to run Lucasfilm. I don't know how many times I have to say that.
the issue of the company that champions women is now being sued by a lot of women for not paying women. And of course...
Yeah, it's almost like they're not fucking woke, Gary. It's almost like they care more about money than anything else. Fucking hell, Gary. Pay attention.
When Bob wasn't paying women, he was firing them, like Victoria Alonso, along with everyone else in massive layoffs, including Ike Perlmutter, who came back with Nelson Peltz to possibly start a proxy war. And when Bobby Iger wasn't fighting with the state of Florida, pissing off stockholders, alienating half of the country, and betraying the core customer of the Disney brand, the family, he decided to step back in the culture war by trying to stay out of the culture war, all while losing mountains of money on flops like Indiana Jones 5, The Haunted Mansion, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, I don't think Indiana Jones and Ant-Man kind of more fall into underperformers than flat-out flops. Haunted Mansion probably is a flop. I don't know the budget on it. Marvel's was definitely a flop.
Quantumania, Little Mermaid, Wish.
No, Little Mermaid did decent. I don't even know if it quite qualifies as underperformer, but that's the worst it would be.
And the Marvels. It was bad enough they put all their eggs in the Kang basket, and Jonathan Majors was arrested.
And it's too bad Marvel has never in the history of the company ever recast anybody.
Tried and found guilty and then ultimately fired. No, the biggest failure for Disney in 2023 was the mighty Marvel Cinematic Universe being killed by the now publicly and widely acknowledged MCU.
Now, I'm sure you've heard the term MCU. It's
Grace Randolph. It seems like she's trying to get friendly with the Chuds right now. We'll see what happens with it, but she was never good, frankly.
Being used by some fan communities. And yes, the term is extremely offensive, but it's also becoming undeniably true.
And this all happened on Disney's 100th anniversary, and because the universe...
Gary, when you are celebrating that Grace Randolph is on your side, you done fucked up. You done fucked up.
Tends to unfold as it should. Disney's worst year ended with two flops, Wish and The Marvels. They got completely roasted by South Park.
I swear, the multiverse is just an...
You got roasted by South Park too. Did you watch the fucking episode, Gary? Did it go over your fucking head?
I guess just wailing on woke stuff all the time is pretty lazy too. Excuse for lazy writing. Whoa, yeah, it's like every damn movie now.
Yeah, no, I've seen the John Campea thing. Yeah. There's actually a couple of clips of John Campea calling out these guys. I've seen probably at least 4 or 5.
Replacing every single character with someone who is diverse. It's like, it's not our fault, it's because of Kathleen Kennedy. But then Kathleen...
Did you miss the point in the episode that kind of revealed the fact that Cartman can be a black woman? Because that was actually one of the points of the episode.
Can you just put another gay diverse woman in and make it more fun? And then Bob Iger's all like, no, what's going on with my stocks? No, Captain Kennedy.
And if that wasn't enough, Bob Iger started a fight with Elon Musk.
You stopped advertising on X.
We did.
Are you going to cut out the bit where Elon Musk posted anti-Semitic stuff and Bob Iger, along with many other corporations, pulled their funding from X? It wasn't Bob Iger was just the biggest name. There was lots of companies that did it. It's because he agreed with an anti-Semitic post. Like it wasn't even like a fucking pro-Palestinian, hey, stop killing people post. It was a flat-out anti-Semitic post that Elon Musk was like, oh, I agree 100%. And then, yeah, it made national news. You gonna cut out that part, Gary?
Tell us about that decision.
And by him taking the position that he took in quite a public manner.
Nice cut. You're cutting out the when he explained the anti-Semitic post. Jesus.
We just felt that the association with that position and Elon Musk and X was not necessarily a positive one for us, and we decided we would pull our advertising.
Who gave us the greatest moment in recent internet history.
Go f*** yourself.
Listen, man, like all you Nerdrotic fans will talk about how he's anti-corporation. Like, why are you guys so eager to suck off like the richest man in the world? Like, it's insane.
I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
And all this would be bad enough if it wasn't for the culture war. And now Disney is worried that woke is ruining their brand after consistent flops, and the same could be said for woke Hollywood.
And I think, honestly...
Yeah, Bob Iger gave them a lot of red meat, and it kind of pissed me off.
Hollywood's shook. I think they're shook. I think they see the hypocrisy. I think they see the double standard. And I read this somewhere. It's like, don't try to ruin my life with lies when your life can be ruined with the truth.
That's our list, folks. The top.
Wow, ending with a Gina Carano clip. Jesus.
5 woke Hollywood disasters of 2023. Tinseltown's worst year in generations was also the year woke.
We just went over the box office numbers. Their worst year in generations was 2020. They're recovering, not their worst year in generations. Pay attention, Gary.
Hollywood failed, and that's a good thing. If you don't agree with our list, please let us know in the comments section.
Wow. Oh my God, that took me a long time to break down. Holy shit. God damn, that was a fucking workout, Gary. Jesus Christ. You know, it's always fun to make fun of Gary, but God, like, his videos are littered with misinformation. Absolutely fucking littered with it. Like, and he, like, just the way he frames stuff so fucking dishonestly. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I know, Lucifer, I'm exhausted too. This fucking, like, this Gary video was just fucking hell, my brain's gonna die.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.